cut. So this would be the North Pole of the Earth. This entire outer circle here is the South Pole. You'll notice that in Arthur's form, he gives us various hour angles, as if we were measuring from the equator. Now, midway between the North Pole and the South Pole is the equator of the Earth. So this circle is always equidistant. Okay. The line from the North Pole to the South Pole and back up again here is the meridian axis, or the meridian great circle. And here a great circle is a straight line because it's bisecting both poles. The Z is the zenith, or place on the Earth. So here, this is Arthur's chart. He was born in New York City, so if we count up from the equator 10, 20, 30, 40 degrees and a little change north, this would be his zenith and the meridian axis. And a great circle is drawn from that zenith at right angles called the prime vertical. And that goes all the way around, bisects the nadir, and back up to the zenith. Where this meridian circle crosses the equator, we call the sigma point, or the right ascension of the midheaven. The meridian axis is at right angles to the equator at all times, no matter where the meridian is in the world. Where it crosses the ecliptic, we call the midheaven. Now, the midheaven is the highest point in the sky that the ecliptic reaches in a given day, or the sun will reach in a given day at that degree. So note, we have a framework around the zenith. Meridian, prime vertical, they make an X. We have the equator. We have an off-centered circle called the ecliptic, right, the path of the sun. And that is traced by this circle here. This would be the Arctic Circle on the Earth. This is where the north ecliptic pole is at the given time. All right, so 90 degrees from this point in all directions will give us the ecliptic. As circles move away from the center and aren't perpendicular to the North Pole, they get oblate, or distorted. This large circle here is the horizon, and this is what this chart is based on. This large circle is 90 degrees from where you stand on the Earth at any given time. It's your own personal view of the cosmos. So note, a few things are shown here. One, where the ecliptic crosses the equator, we have the cardinal axis. And Arthur did this chart as a sidereal chart. He was a Scorpio, but all these factors are in Libra, as it is precessed backwards from his perspective. We also get where the ecliptic crosses the horizon down here in the east. Here's the east over here, right? We have the ascendant and descendant. Here's the ascendant, right, where the ecliptic crosses the horizon, and the descendant, where the ecliptic crosses the horizon. These are nodes. Any place that two great circles cross is a node. Now, Arthur's planets, with their latitude, notice the moon here has a slightly north latitude, right? And if we look around here to Pluto, we see Pluto having a slightly north latitude. Their distances north or south of the ecliptic. Arthur used to make a movable plastic transparency with the planets on it so we could turn it around the Earth. And if we turn this and bring planets to the horizon, when we see planets rising with other planets on the horizon, they may not be zodiacally conjunct. For example, Arthur's Mars, Moon, and Sun do rise together at a various latitude, even though they're very far apart in the sky. We have what's called a paran, or a co-transit. These parans are extremely important to the ancient world, to the Babylonians and before. The Greeks took note of them, but not as deeply as the Babylonians did. Now, these yellow lines that emanate out are orbs. Using a 10-degree orb, a 10-degree orb around the horizon, and you'll notice it resembles an Ankh, or the meaning of life. Now, where the ecliptic crosses the prime vertical, in the west is the vertex. Where the ecliptic crosses the prime vertical in the east is the anti-vertex. Where the prime vertical crosses the horizon is always going to be incidental where the equator crosses the horizon. We call this the equatorial ascendant. Now, as planets rotate, as this celestial sphere turns, it's all rising here, culminating, and then setting. We could have fixed stars anywhere in the sphere that are way off the ecliptic, and they will rise, culminate, and set in different patterns with the natal chart. These Puran risings and settings were very important to the Babylonian astrologers. So this is a three-dimensional horoscope based on the horizon. Our normal horoscopes are a two-dimensional representation based on the ecliptic. Everything can be determined in an orthodox horoscope in this. Houses can be put in. We could extend factors from either the north ecliptic pole out to have a pizza pie type chart around the circumference. We can put a map of the Earth in here and turn the celestial sphere, therefore creating a new kind of astrocartography where we look for parallels over physical places in the Earth. We can also look very closely by changing the north and south component at places in the Earth where various natal factors will support, rise, and set with each other to create different experiences, much different than an astrocartography. Arthur's work was wide. This chart tells a lot more than I can explain in these few minutes. I hope that you understand this and have fun. You'll see this chart more and more in the future. Astrolabe produced a version of it with their old program print wheels, but it will be coming into the chart wheels package at some point, and perhaps the Australians will pick up on it and put it into the Solar Fire package. Thank you for observing this. You're getting a good basis of how great circles begin to work and the rudimentaries of three-dimensional astrology. Astrology has not really changed in the last 1,500 years. Only in the 20th century has true technological development gone on. Everybody thinks psychological astrology is the modern form in the future. But the future lies with the work of some great astrologers in the 20th century, Arthur being one of them. This form will be seen in the future. It is the direction that astrology will be moving. Thank you very much for observing, and I hope you have a great time and a great day.